Zachary Levi.
Oh. Let's hear it for Eric Artell one more time. Eric Artell, the man. Did he auction some stuff off with you guys? Yeah. Who bought it? God bless you, sir. Thank you. Hey, you guys ready for a drunk history panel? Yeah. First time in Nerd HQ, drunk history. It's about fucking time. Please welcome to the stage Derek Waters and Duncan Trussell. Get through that door. We're gonna work on that door. Yes! Yes! Signore. Please, have a seat.
Oh, bellissimo. Thank you.
Thank you finally for coming to Nerd HQ. We know you're very, very busy getting people very, very drunk.
Yeah, sorry.
That's why I brought out my water.
Oh.
For said panel. By the way, how long have we known each other?
We met, when were you doing Less Than Perfect? What year was that?
2002 to 2006,
yeah.
something like that?
I don't want to name drop, but I did a show called Married to the Kellys. That was a TGI show. Unless you were related to me, you wouldn't have seen it. But, yeah.
Was it Kaylee Cuoco? No.
Keely Sanchez.
Oh, Keely Sanchez was that. But that's right, Kaylee Cuoco was doing 8 Simple Rules at the time. That's right. We were all running around doing random stuff. But Derek has always been one of the coolest guys I've ever known. And then I remember running into you at Starbucks one day, I think. And I was like, dude, what's going on? And you're like, I've been working on this thing called Drunk History. I'm like, oh, do tell. And then all of a sudden, it's the biggest, coolest thing in the world. So congratulations to you guys.
Thank you.
For making something so new and fresh and awesome. Where did it come from?
Drinking.
All right, well, that's the panel.
Yeah, thank you. That's all I say. No, I love stories, and when someone's drunk telling me a story that I usually don't believe is true because they're drunk, I always imagine people having to lip sync what these people are saying. And when you're like sober talking to someone drunk, it makes it fun for you to like, oh man, imagine if this story they're telling me actually happened. So I wanted to do that, but I was like, oh, that would be a one-time thing. What if it was something that actually was true and like you would still have the mess ups, but it would still be true story. So yeah, it just started as like, oh, that might be funny. But now it's become this thing of like, no, now it's my job to find stories that make me go, why weren't we taught this in school? Yeah. And then getting to have my favorite friends get drunk and tell it. And yeah, the goal is to make you laugh and secretly learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
My dream is like some frat guy watching it and being like, oh, that guy's so fucked up. Oh shit, I just learned something. That's my dream.
And how did you and Duncan connect? What's the story?
Duncan and I met probably in 2000. We were doing open mic stand-up stuff in Los Angeles.
What was the name of the place? The Martini?
Martini Lounge.
Yeah, we were doing stand-up at this horrific place called the Martini Lounge. Just a wretched
It sounds
place.
horrific, yeah.
Cursed by God.
Trying
like
so hard to be cute. It's a Martini Lounge.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
It's not a Martini Lounge.
Unless martini means sadness.
Yeah.
I think it was just for the teeny. Sorry, it was a teeny joke.
Yeah, but we just got through stand-up.
Yeah, we met through that.
And then just started and wrangled the idea and just kept running with it.
Well, Derek had been doing Drunk History.
Online.
Just uploading it.
Right.
So, and it was a hit. And I found out about Tesla. And I remember telling you a little bit about what I was finding out, and then you invited me to do one, and so that's how we started.
Duncan did one of the first ones with Tesla and Edison, with John C. Reilly and Crispin Glover.
Yeah,
and
really cool, man. It was so cool to see my voice coming out of two of the greatest actors' mouths on earth. It's the craziest thing to, like, whoa, that's what I would be like if I could act. Awesome.
And by the way, and the Tesla Edison story is so fascinating. I think Tesla and Edison is obviously pretty iconic as well. But
Edison's a pig, friend.
Dude.
Yeah.
Tesla was amazing. That guy. Everything we have right now, we could technologically speaking. I mean, you can link that back to Tesla in so many ways.
And what's really fascinating about him is that all of that came to him in a vision. Yeah. He had visions and seizures. And what the other thing that's interesting that didn't make it into that episode is when he died, the CIA came into his pad and took all of his research away. So we don't even know what he was finding out. Because some of the stuff he was saying at the end of his life was crazy. Like he was saying that he knew how to capture thought waves and that he thought he was unraveling some code that somehow plugged into the creative force of the universe. So he was doing great.
He was in love with a pigeon.
What's that?
And the pigeon.
Oh yeah, and yeah, he like had a pigeon friend as he was sort of well, he went crazy. You know, it's gotta be the most mind-bending thing to walk through a city and know those lights are based on your invention, and yet you're eating toast and slowly dying.
Yeah, he died like penniless and alone.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Yeah, it happens to some of the greatest people.
Yeah. So we all have that to look forward to.
Yeah.
So let's open it up for some questions. Who's got some questions? Oh, I see a hand down there. Duncan, you want to call on that gentleman? Or apparently I already did. There we go.
Do you mind if I don't stand?
No, well, you do have a cast on
You're
your foot,
fine.
so I think you get a pass.
Okay, thanks. All right, gentlemen, here's my question. Of the people that you've had telling the drunk stories, who are some of the people, and you don't have to tell me what they said, but who are the people who are most likely to spill personal information while under the influence?
I would get in trouble if I answered that. But I would say most people tell me things that should be kept to themselves. But that's sort of the nature of a game, you know. Like a lion tamer doesn't know like, oh, I could get bitten. Like I know that I'm gonna hear stuff that I shouldn't know, but it's fine. No one gets too deep.
Didn't I try to fight you
Yes.
at one time?
Yes, everyone tries to fight me. It's weird because as a kid, my favorite show was Cops, and I kind of feel like by the end of the night, it becomes a Cops episode. Get out of my house. Get out of my house. You don't love me.
Just running and like breaking through screen doors, like running through the backyard over a fence. Next question.
I was wondering if you have some like universal truths of drunk people, because it seems like at some point everybody wants to be on the floor when they're drunk. And I know that for me because you can't fall off the floor.
Right.
And so
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point.
It depends on the floor.
Yeah.
I could fall off this right here.
Yeah, that, yeah. That, you're good. Yeah. I will get deep with that answer because we all want to be comfortable, no, sober or drunk. And the thing with alcohol is that you're not like, oh, that's probably inappropriate for me to lay down. No, you want to lay down. You should lay down. And we all want to be like, especially if you're spinning, you want to be on something that doesn't spin. Yeah, so, yeah, a floor is a great place to be, but not when you wake up.
And not when there's cameras around you. You have to
Right, yeah.
understand that as you're doing this show, there's this terrible arc. It's an up ramp in the direction of humiliating yourself. And you know you're humiliating yourself because you can hear your mouth. You can hear your ability to articulate language just slowly go, talking like this. And then you're like, God, I'm just going to lay down and hope this ends. But it doesn't. When you lay down, there's easily another 3 hours of Derek being like, tell the story again. Just let's do it one more time.
Yeah, I didn't get all of it. Yeah. We tell it a lot of times. It's a lot of times.
Would you say that more people are happy drunks or angry drunks?
Well,
in your experience of the show?
I say this politely. There's some people that I wouldn't put on the show just because I can tell it'd get too dark, you know? And I like likable people. And to watch a show where people are drunk, you have to like the person. So if they were dark, I wouldn't put it on the show. And I don't want anyone on the show that has a problem.
Right. Do you have you had anyone that you've had on that their tolerance is so high that it takes forever to actually get something that's truly drunk and entertaining out of them?
Yeah, when people will like comment on stuff and be like, they don't seem drunk. I'm like, trust me, I know they don't seem drunk, but they are drunk. That is probably the hardest thing for me always to defend is like, wait, they're not really drunk, are they? Can you imagine how bad that show would be if they were pretending to be drunk? You can't pretend to be drunk. You can't. So it is all real. It is all real. What were you going to ask, young man?
Wait,
sorry.
get the microphone, just so the people at home can hear you.
So during the off season, do you guys like kind of still go drinking to kind of keep your liver limber, or are you like, oh God, I don't even want to look at alcohol during the off season?
When it comes to alcohol, it's always the on season, friend.
Yeah, I humbly say the show has actually never stopped. We're always going, so I've never had a break. But when we're done doing the narrations, I usually go to a detox place. It's really fun. I went to this detox. I've never told this story. I went to this detox store at the place in Palm Springs, and I kind of was like, man, this is gonna be cool. It's gonna be like Girl Interrupted. Like, there's gonna be a girl like smoking cigs and like just like, get me out of here, get me out of here. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be cool. And I get there and it's me and like 10 60-year-old women with liposuction. Like, we do this once a year. And I'm like, this sucks. Like, and when like all you could have was soup, like for 3 days, it was hell.
Didn't they wrap you in foil or something?
This is a good story. Yes. The hardest thing that they did, or the hardest thing, it was called system recovery. Sounds real, doesn't it? And they wrap you in this almost like, what's that foil, like...
Saran wrap?
Yes, yeah. And in this room, it's like 120 degrees while this woman's like rubbing your feet, making you not think that you're really in pain. And then it's 90 minutes, and afterwards, she took it off, and she's like, look at all these, what do you call it?
Duncan's like, I have no idea.
It could be a lot of things.
Toxins?
Yes, look at all these toxins that came out. And I was like, wow, that's cool. And then it was a 3-day thing, and on the third day, it was a different lady, and I was like, can I see the toxins? And she goes, oh, honey, those aren't toxins. That's the part of the blanket. So they lied to me, but then I was like, no, her heart was in the right place. Like, she wanted to know I was doing a good thing. But you could just say, like, good job, not lying.
But don't you think
There's
the person who wraps you in saran wrap in a heated room should know what toxins are? Like,
Right, yes. But I think she did, but she just wanted to make me feel like, good job.
Right.
But you can do that without lying.
Right.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to lie.
I just like that you think saran wrap is a type of foil. I think that's...
Well, I don't know if it is saran
That's
wrap.
fantastic. It comes out of the same kind of thing.
It's
I get it. It's a
something
roll,
like that,
and
yeah.
it's all in the same drawer.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
We keep them all in the same drawer.
That's it.
If we have a drawer that holds those things. Next question, please.
By the way, I love your show.
Thanks.
You've done so many stories that nobody knows about. Is there one story that you are dying to do that has happened in history?
Yeah. Oh man, it's hard. Because if I say it and then I don't do it, then they're like, you traitor, you said you wanted to do that. Not to get too serious, but I'm like really sensitive to mental health and the fact that like that's been going on forever and it's just starting to get acknowledged. Like I really want to do stuff about that and just health stuff. There's so much that has been hidden, and yeah, it's a very funny topic. But yeah, I want to just find really cool, rare stories. I'm sorry I'm not good at answering the question, because there are a lot that I want to do, but I'm real sensitive to saying something and then being like, oh, fuck it, I forgot I had to do that. But yeah, thank you for liking the show. Yes, sir.
Hi, guys. So when you're in the midst of listening to the story, do you think about the production values that you're going to have to follow afterwards? Are you ever worried, like, how are we going to pull this off? Sometimes you do some elaborate scenes and settings.
Yeah,
the
that's a
stories can
good
go off the
question.
rails.
I try not to, because then I'll be like, oh, don't talk about how there was a plane flying, because I don't know how to do that. But this season, we have an episode called Great Escapes that Duncan's in, but one of the other narrators named Doug Jones tells a story of the drunk baker from the Titanic who survived mostly because he was drunk, and the alcohol didn't help
Wait, for
not
real?
affect the water. Yes, yes.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
And so I was like, well, how are we gonna get the Titanic? But so I don't know where it is
Dr.
anymore.
James Cameron,
It's
he's going
hard. I don't know
lying
if we rebuild that thing, but that's the fun part of the show. I humbly say is like I want it to be beautifully homemade. So seeing a model ship being cracked in half, and clearly you can see a hand right in it. So yeah, you just got to think of like a model, you know. But yeah, I'm really excited about that one. And Duncan told the story of Timothy Leary escaping prison. It's really cool.
Yeah, this is one of the, a lot of people don't know. Do you guys know who Timothy Leary is? If you don't know, Tim Leary was this like acid missionary, basically. He was, thought LSD could transform the planet, but he was also a really brilliant psychologist at Harvard. And so one of my favorite parts about the story is when he was on trial, after he was convicted, he had to fill out a questionnaire to figure out what prison he was gonna go to. And he was the one who created the questionnaire. So I know, it's so cool. So he knew how to fill it out in a way that he would get in a minimum security prison, which is what he did, and that's how he managed to escape. Pretty cool.
Did they catch him?
What they caught him later down the road, but he got it. I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but
it's fine.
well, yeah, he got out.
Well,
of
it
there.
did already happen.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, we could just Google that shit right now.
I forgot about Google.
Spoiler alert.
It is his story.
History happened.
Okay, so I'll give it away. He enlisted the help of a homeland terrorist organization called the Weather Underground. Great documentary on Netflix about these people who are like, they were blowing up buildings to protest the war in Vietnam. They paid them something like $20,000 or $30,000 to help him get out of prison. So basically he managed to, he had an elaborate plan. He studied the movement of the guards. He practiced like racquetball or wall ball so that he could get the gloves to like go across this wire. It was a fully planned prison escape, and he got out of there and ended up with the Black Panthers. I can't remember which country he was in, but it's great. You can look it up. There's a great interview when he's with the leader of the Black Panthers, and they're like, Dr. Leary, what's your next step? And he's like, to overthrow the government of the United States. That was what he was thinking he was going to do.
But in fairness, he was really tripping balls at the time, so we can give him a pass.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's an amazing
I can't
story.
believe he created the questionnaire. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, he was a genius. He truly was, and he did a lot more than proselytize LSD. But we don't have time to yap about that.
Next question.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, sorry, I forgot the mic.
So I'm curious about the sources that people use when they're telling the stories. Do you ask them to use certain sources or not to use ones? And have you ever gotten called out for having someone say something that was totally wrong?
I would be the worst person in the world we have the best researchers, so we make sure that all the stories have at least 2 to 3 sources to back it up, just because that would be horrible. I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna pretend that this happened. What a dick. So yeah, there's a lot. Well, I find the stories, and then based off what the researchers find, and then I present them to the narrators and what I think they would like. But no, they're all 100% true. The dates, the names, the story, just the dialogue is made up. That's the only thing unhistorically accurate.
When you put a story out, do you ever get feedback from historians or people who correct you in certain ways or say this was actually off? Or do you ever get that?
No.
Wow. Cool.
No, I wish I did. Oh, I know. It's cool because I loved my history teacher, so he's who I want to impress, and so the fact that he likes the show is like, what else is there to do?
One of the coolest things you did, Derek won't say this, you said it, he is one of the coolest people on earth. And one of the things he did, remember the screening where you brought your history teacher from high school to the screening? It was one of the most beautiful things ever to see this man stand in front of this theater filled with people watching this hit show. It was really cool. I think he teared up a little bit. It was
Yeah, Mr. Stang. We all remember our favorite teacher, you know, and it's like, that's my goal with this show, is he would teach in a way that, like, history, let's be honest, is boring. But it's how you're being taught it, and he would humanize these people. Like, we wouldn't want to hear about history, so we'd be like, Mr. Stang, what's wrong with the Orioles this season? And he would go off for a half hour about the Orioles, and then the next 20 minutes, he would tie in what's wrong with the Orioles with this historical story. I'm like, man. Like, every night I would tell my parents what I learned from Mr. Stang. So we all remember our favorite teachers, and so I'm like so blessed that Facebook got me back in touch with Mr. Stang.
That's awesome. So he'd be like, so listen, this is why Cal Ripken is like Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
Like he would do something like that?
Yeah, he'd do something like that, yeah.
And were you a big fan of his, like, because he was such a great teacher, did you like history in high school?
I liked him. Like, I took archaeology because of him. I didn't really want to do that. But I think it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And he just, like, storytellers. You gotta,
I totally agree. And actually, I had a great high school history teacher. I love history. I don't know about you guys, but I genuinely love history.
I can tell because you pronounce Genghis Khan right.
Genghis Khan,
people say Genghis Khan.
Have you guys ever heard of a podcast called Hardcore History with Dan Carlin? Have you ever listened to this?
Yeah.
Dude, it is so good. It is super dense. FYI, he does a 6-part series just on World War I. He does another 6-part series on Genghis Khan. Well, it's called like Wrath of the Khans. And but it's all about the Mongol Empire, which, by the way, is one of the most, again, there's things that we never learn in school, or at least, there's not enough time or whatever. But the Mongol Empire was the biggest landmass of an empire the world has ever seen. They ruled more land and more people groups than anyone ever has. And they were brutal. They were crazy brutal, but he was so smart. Genghis Khan, he literally conscripted all the generals and all the scientists and everybody that they beat, and he would basically pull them aside and go, hey, you're a great general. So you got two options. You can either be one of my generals, which would be really sweet, right? Or I'm gonna kill you right now. And they all go, oh, you know what? I think I'm good. Let's go kill some more people. Like they would all just sign up. And it was super smart on his part, which is why they were able to take over China, basically all of modern day Russia, all this stuff. It's fascinating. But they're like 4-hour long podcasts, so you really got to like dedicate to getting in there. But it's in his voice is like, it's Dan Carlin. Welcome to Hardcore History.
That makes it
it's like
good.
it's super intense.
Yeah. Genghis, how do I
Lots of
say it?
death. He
How do
talks
I-
about a lot of death.
How do I say it? Genghis?
Genghis.
Genghis.
Genghis
So I
Khan.
liked your idea that next year you want to do Genghis Comic-Con. I think that's really
No, I want to be on your damn show.
okay.
Man. Right? I see all this little Twitter love. Like last year, I saw this Twitter love between Nathan Fillion and Derek Waters. Like, oh, why don't you come and do Drunk History? I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? I've known you longer than Nathan.
You're a busy man. You
Yeah,
know that.
I am.
You know that.
But you guys get so many great actors. I'm so happy for you, man. And Jason Ritter, like, what a sweetheart of a guy. That guy, dude, he's so funny. Yeah, it's super awesome. Next question. Anybody got a call? Ooh, a couple in the back. Where you want to go, guys?
Oh, sorry. I don't want to say Wonder Woman because I'm not positive, but
I think she's a
beautiful
Captain
woman
America.
with- yeah, sorry. My eyes aren't good. These are fake glasses, though.
I'm American Dream. I'm daughter of Captain America.
Nice
Boom.
to meet you.
Hi. Okay, so I was wondering, from the very beginning of the show, have
Mm.
you guys kept track of how much alcohol the entire cast
Oh my
has consumed? And the specific alcohol that is the most consumed, I guess.
I think Bullet Bourbon is a big popular one. Jameson whiskey is very popular. I feel like wine puts you to sleep and beer makes you talk about your personal shit from 10 years ago. As a PhD of alcohol. And tequila make you cry. So I would say, whiskey, but how much consumed? I have no idea. If I found out that number, I would definitely quit my job. I don't want to know that.
Enough to
think it
kill
would-
a small elephant, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think it could easily fill a hot tub, right? Like the amount of, probably a swimming pool, the amount of alcohol.
100%. Yes.
Like an Olympic-sized swimming pool?
As we've done, I realize we've done 100 stories, so that's 100 and at least a bottle to 2 bottles a night. So that's, I would roughly say 200 bottles of whiskey.
Wow.
Not to brag.
Next question.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm on a Sherlock Holmes podcast, and I do a little version of drunk history. I call it Drunk Canon. So thanks for
Drunk
the idea.
Canon.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
So basically, I just get my friends drunk, and they tell the Arthur Conan Doyle stories.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Sir Arthur. Right?
Sorry,
No,
Sir Arthur.
no,
sorry.
no.
So I just want to give you props because you make it look a lot easier than it is. Because I have such a hard time. Like, at what point do you know that the person you're interviewing is drunk enough to like tell the story? Like, do you like look at them and be like, okay, you're at the perfect point. Let's go. Let's roll camera. Like, how do you know?
I know it, and you guys can know it when you're at a party and they tell you a story or they tell you something that they told you an hour ago. It's like a light bulb that just... Wait, have I told you the thing I told you 10 minutes ago? Yes. It's working. Yeah, that's when I know. But it takes a really long time. As you know, it does look a lot of fun on TV, but it is really hard because I'm also like, they're all my friends, and who wants to exploit any human being? But like, it's very hard to like, okay, you got to be drunk, but I also don't want you to be sick. I don't want that. Duncan will fight me and saying I do want people sick, but no. If I did, it would be on TV, and I don't put the puke.
I don't think that you are malicious, but I think that you recognize that when a geyser of puke blasts out of someone's mouth on TV, there's some entertainment value there. But also, the way he does it, he sneaks in on you. Like, not literally, like he doesn't sneak into your house, but he...
The nicest guy.
Can we please do a spinoff where he does that?
I would love that, sneak history.
What he does is, first of all, his crew, the people who work on Drunk History, are all like supernaturally sweet people. He somehow assembled this group of people who all have really great vibes. So these people have gotten really good at being in someone's house and making it seem like they're not there at all. So suddenly you're just drinking with your friend, and then you're just talking about something. And before you know it, you're telling this story, and you don't even realize that they've started filming. And then you're like, oh, this is the show. Oh, I'm doing it. And by then, you've already told the story a couple of times. He also takes you through your house. Like, I do a podcast, and he brought me into my podcast studio when I was hammered because he thought it would like relax me a little bit to tell the story. So he's gotten very good at tuning in to what makes a person comfortable and how to relax them, and just sort of he draws it out of you. You really are so good at that, man.
Thanks,
it's amazing.
Tom. Thank you.
So what you're saying is he's the drunk whisperer, essentially. That's what he is.
He is. He's a drunk whisperer. It's a great name for it. He's like the drunk whisperer mixed in with Hannibal Lecter. There's another side to it too.
I actually have no idea what the hell that means.
Silence of the Lambs. The brilliant sociopathic psychopath.
I know who Hannibal Lecter is, but is he eating people's brains? What the fuck is going on?
In a way, he's dissolving their brains with booze.
My brain's going the same way you guys go. You go, I go. Thank you. Yes.
That's my sister.
Oh, hi.
I have a question. So have you ever gotten so drunk that like you've gotten drunk on the show and it kind of like you've had to retake it or like do another night where?
One time, we used to have to do 2 narrators a day. Season 1, we did 2 narrators a night, and they told 2 stories. That was the worst idea ever. So in that time, like, if someone's new that I don't know, but I've met them and I like their stand-up or their writing, I feel the need to make sure I'm really going drink for drink with them. But I did 2 of them at the same time, and yeah. If you see the New Jersey episode, you can see, like, I'm really excited about it because I look so bad that I'm like, I don't want anyone. Here's the way I can prove that I'm not egotistical, because I look so fat, and the girl's like trying to get she's like, where's the cork? And I say something that I don't even have ever heard, and I say, you'd only need a cork if you're not gonna finish it. So I was like, yeah, that'll prove like I'm with them. I'm not trying to make them look bad. Look how fucking fat and...
That, by the way, is a great quote.
Yeah, you only need a cork.
Somebody's gonna end up tattooing that on their bodies at some point.
It sounds like a grandpa line, but I'd never heard it.
Next question.
Hey, what are some of the weirdest quirks you come across? Does like anyone break out in verse or, start doing backflips when they're drunk?
Man, shit. Well, let me think about that. There's so many, because everyone, when they're drunk, they like to reveal something that they don't want to reveal when they're sober. So I've learned how to do ballet with certain people. I've learned stupid instruments. I remember doing VR with you drunk, which was the dumbest idea ever. Sorry, your question is like, what types of things do people do when they're drunk that I've learned? Yeah. They don't believe that they've told the story. They don't. That's something that I try to say when I get there, like, no matter what, at the end of the night, you'll never believe me that you've told the story. But I promise I will never leave until we have the story. So I try to create that trust at the top. But no matter what, the next day I'll always get an email saying, I'm so sorry I didn't tell the story. I'm like, man.
That is the worst feeling on earth, is waking up, you're completely hungover, you don't remember why you're hungover for a second, and then it starts dawning on you that you were just doing a drunk history, and then you know how your brain, when you've been really drunk, it starts serving up every single awful thing you said, and remember when you said that, and then you did that, and finally you're like, I gotta call Derek and tell him I'm sorry. I can't believe I tried to fight him. I told him he was exploiting people.
You told me my dad wasn't my dad.
I told him.
He tried to convince me my father's not my father that my mother's not my mother because my brother and I are 6 years apart. That was the reason, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to help get me to summon up some kind of rational reason I was saying that, it's not there. I don't think. But no, it is like, there was a weird span of time. Like, if I go back and think about it,
yeah,
there is the potential that your mother is not your mother. Like, it is possible. But when you're drunk, it seems like, yeah, I just discovered something about Derek.
I gotta tell
he
him.
doesn't know.
Yes. There's a lot of quirks. Yeah. And the kind of the basis of the show, like, one huge quirk that I love is I avoid hearing them talk about the story until we start, because any human being is so excited to tell you a story that you don't know. So mixing that with alcohol, I call it frustrated passion. Like, I love watching people try, and they love this so much, but for whatever reason, they can't get it through to your head. So, yeah, frustrated passion, and then the reenactments are, I say, ridiculousness taken seriously. And hearing these stories, like, getting the calls, that's another reason why I'm like, my goal is to make this reenactment blow their fucking mind that they didn't get sick for no reason. Like, it's gotta blow their mind that, oh my God, those people are moving their lips to me. Next, sorry. Yes, ma'am?
I was just wondering if you have any good stories during the reenactments. Any of the actors did anything fun?
Oh, yeah, there's lots of fun stuff. I'm trying to think of a good one that I'm allowed to tell. I don't know. Thing about Crispin Glover, some people, when they do the reenactments, they say it out loud. There's no audio when we're shooting the reenactment, so we have it playing on a loop, like a music video. So some actors like to say it out loud. Some people just like to lip sync it. And Crispin loved saying it out loud, and it was just the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life. But it would be like, he would show us what he was gonna do. He's like, because I have to do this. because I have to do this. I forget what he was saying, but it was like watching the Pirates of the Caribbean, but it's Crispin Glover. Like, man, fucking George McFly is right here. Best. So sorry I don't have a great story, but yeah, I'm lucky to be working with all those people. So lucky.
Don't your editors, isn't there some, I think I remember you telling me that in the editing process, when you're putting together whatever the narration is going to be that they have to reenact, don't the editors have to really struggle to make the lip syncing work? Like, what's the technical process behind that?
Most actors can do it right on the spot, but if someone says it a little early, we can move it to make it go when they say it. But it's really rare. But they're the best editors in the world because it is first 8 hours of footage of, people talking about nothing, and then 45 minutes of the story. So they're really good. It's like making a documentary, but shorter.
And far more inebriated.
Right, yeah.
Guys, we have time for one last question. One last question. Who's got it?
It's gonna
better be
best
good.
one.
No pressure.
It's gonna be the best one. Okay. Oh, sorry. You pick, Duncan.
Hi. I love this show so much. My first job was as a tour guide at a historical park. So so much of what I did.
Which park?
The Henry Ford Museum in Greenfield Village in Dearborn. Yay, Michigan people. And if I could have done those tours drunk, it would have been perfect. But
great idea.
Henry Ford idolized Edison, and so the Edison-Tesla episode is my absolute favorite. So what got you interested in Tesla?
But wait, it's not ironic that both of those guys are pieces of shit, right?
Oh, yeah. Ford was insane.
Right, okay. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah, totally.
But what was the question? Sorry.
What got you interested in Tesla and interested in that story?
I can't remember the first, I don't remember where I first started finding out about him. It might have been a Mythbusters episode. I don't know if you saw the Mythbusters episode, but Tesla has a machine that somehow creates this vibration. And so it's, Mythbusters, they're usually busting myths, but they take this Tesla device that supposedly that he said it actually caused his laboratory to start shaking like an earthquake. They take it and they attach it to a bridge because they're so certain this isn't real, this couldn't really work, this couldn't really work. They have this thing running on this bridge, and watch this Mythbusters. It's amazing because they're feeling the bridge, and they're like, turn off the machine. Turn that thing off because the bridge was starting to vibrate. It was somehow resonant. So I think it was something like that. I started realizing this is a kind of scientific / mystical figure in history that not many people know about. And so that's where I got sucked in. And then, of course, when you realize this is a person who was completely exploited by one of the first patent trolls on Earth, and this is a person who gets no credit at all for what he's done, then that gives this special passion behind it. And that's what I like about telling these stories, is because you get to take revenge for these people who have been so unfairly who've been treated unfairly by history. And so, yeah, that's how I got into it.
Fuck yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, that's your Drunk History panel.
Thank
Give it up
you,
for
guys.
Derek and Duncan.
Thank you for having us.
Keep it going for these boys as they leave our Nerd HQ stage.
Thank you. And our new season, September 27th.
September 27th.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I'll see you backstage. Pleasure. Keep it going, 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 keep it going. Was that fun? That was fun, right? We're gonna try and get those guys back in years to come. They really are. I mean it. Derek he's such a stalwart. He's such a good dude, and I'm so happy for his success. And Duncan is funny as fuck. You guys are awesome. Love you, bless you. Keep enjoying your time at the con, and keep enjoying your time at HQ. We'll see you soon. Bye.